There we go. And we are now, let's turn to page 14 for Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Av Harachaman Mishach Abdach El Ritzonach Yarod Sabdach Kemo Hayal Yishtachaveh El Mul Hadarach Yerav Lo Yedidutach Mino Fetzuf V'chol Tam Yai-dai da da yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 yai-dai da 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 ya die da 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 da. Apologize, my voice is a little raspy tonight, as 3 weeks of all of this davening will do it to you. But let's turn to page 15 for Lechu Neranana. I expect all of you to sing so loudly that I can't even hear myself sing, even though you're on mute. So that's the point. I want to hear you from wherever you are, direct from there, okay? Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu nerana ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu nerana ladonai. Naria litzoy yishenu, nekad mafanav betodah. Naria litzoy yishenu, bizmira naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu nerana ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu nerana ladonai. Kel gadol Adonai melech Elohim. Arba'im shana kut bedar, v'homar hamtoe levavhem, v'hem lo yadu derachai. Asher nishbati v'api, im yavahun el menuchati. Let's turn to page 16, and Lois, would you like to read Psalm 96? Need to unmute. There you go.
Mute. Sing a new song to Adonai, acclaim Adonai, all the people on earth.
Sing to Adonai, proclaim each day God's awesome might, announce to the world God's glory and wonders.
For Adonai is great, deserving of praise. Oops, it just moved. Oh, Adonai alone is to be revered as God.
All the gods of the nations are nothingness, but Adonai created the heavens.
Majesty and might accompany God. Splendor and strength adorn God's sanctuary.
Acknowledge Adonai, all families of nations. Acclaim God's majestic power. Acknowledge God's glory and bring him tribute.
Worship Adonai in resplendent reverence. Let the earth tremble in God's presence.
Declare to the world Adonai is sovereign. God has steadied the world which stands firm and judges all nations with fairness.
Let the heavens rejoice. Let the earth be glad. Let the sea and all it contains exult.
Let field and forest sing for joy. Adonai comes to rule the earth, rule the world justly, the nations with faithfulness. Yashikaheh, thank you. And let's turn to page 17. And let's see here. Let's find a Harvey Ellison. Actually, if you and Diane would like to read responsively on this page, that would be great.
Adonai is sovereign, let the world rejoice.
God's throne is founded on justice. Though God be clouded from view, divine justice reveals God's presence.
God's lightning illumines the earth. Fire consumes God's foes. Mountains melt like wax before Adonai. The earth trembles.
The heavens proclaim God's righteousness. All people behold God's majesty.
Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images, which must themselves bow low before God.
Hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults and the cities of Judah rejoice.
You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful and saves them from the wicked.
Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable.
Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous. Acclaim the holiness of God's name.
Yashkach, Yashkahech, beautiful job, as always. Let's turn to page 9. Whoa, what happened there? Page 19 at the bottom for Romimu. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehad kodsho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehad kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehad kodsho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehad kodsho. Extol Adonai and bow towards God's holy mountain. Adonai, our God, is holy. We turn to page 20. And I think I'm going to have another couple people read this one because I'm not going to be able to sing that much tonight. So Rosenberry, would you like to read responsively Psalm 29 on page 20?
A song of David, acclaim Adonai, exalted creatures. Acclaim Adonai, glorious and mighty. Acclaim Adonai, whose name is majestic. Worship Adonai in sacred splendor.
The voice of Adonai thunders over rushing waters. The voice of Adonai roars with might. The voice of Adonai echoes with majesty. The voice of Adonai shatters the cedars.
Adonai splinters the cedars of Lebanon, making Mount Lebanon skip like a calf, spelling Sirion to leap like a ram.
The voice of Adonai splits rock with lightning. The voice of Adonai stirs the wilderness. The voice of Adonai strips the forest bare, while in God's sanctuary all chant glory.
Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. Adonai will sit enthroned forever, bestowing strength upon his people, blessing his people with peace.
Thank you, thank you. All right, let's turn to 21. And we're going to do the traditional one. So this evening it's a little easier to sing. So Lecha Dodi, every other verse. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pinei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pinei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad. Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shemol tiferet v'litila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Mikdash melech, Ir melucha, Kumitzehi mitoch hafecha, Rav lach shevet, B'yemek habacha, V'hu yachamol alayechem la, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Hitoreri, hitoreri, Kiva horech umihori, Uri, uri, shir daberi, Kevod Adonai alayech nigla, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, V'hayu limshi sasho asayech, V'rachaku kol mivolayech, Yasis alayech Elohayech, Kimsos chatan al kala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise if you're able. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha utzahola, Tachem munei am segula, Boi chala, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Please be seated. And let's turn to page 23. And let's have... So, Alyssa, you look tired, you're yawning, so why don't you read, please? Page 23. Need to unmute.
It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai, your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble. But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant. To proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw.
Yashikahech. You can go back to sleep now. Just kidding. Let's sing together the bottom four lines on the opposite page. Tzadika tamar yifrach, keres bavanon iska, shetulim bevet Adonai, mechatzrot Elohenu yafrichu, od yenuvon beseva, deshenim verananim iyo lehagid, ki ashar Adonai tzuri velo avlatabo. Page 24. Adonai Malach Edotecha nemumi olevetecha nava kodesh Adonai liorech yamim. Mourners and those observing your sight, please rise for the mourner's Kaddish at the bottom of page 24. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, amen. V'yalmad ivra kirute v'yamlich malchute. V'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kariv v'meru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach li'olam lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'pa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kurisha brechu. Leila min kol bechata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiram b'yalma v'meru, amen. Yehei shlam rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'meru, amen. Please rise if you are able, page 28 for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Borach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Borei yom v'alayla golelo mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or umavir yom v'ein layla mavdil ben yom v'ein layla Adonai tzavahot shemo el chai v'kayam tamin yimloch aleinu li'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hamariv v'rahavim. Page 29, sing together. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadita. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shachveinu v'kumneinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach v'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla v'yavtecha tasim mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 30, the Shema. Paula, would you like to lead the Shema and the V'ahavta?
Thank you. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hashem Kadosh, Sovim Vayed. V'ahavta es Adonai Elohecha b'kol nafshecha b'kol miyadecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavka hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'beisecha uvleftecha ha'derek ukshatam uv'shkarcha Kumecha Vikash Shartum Yos Al Yadeka Vahayula Tatafos Bain and Nakov Kasaftum Almazos Beseko Uvisharaka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You good?
Hero Israel Adonai is our God, Adonai alone. Do you want me to read the English?
Sure. Go ahead.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Thank you.
Continue silently. למען ירבו ימיכם וימיכם על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לבתיכם לתת להם כימי השמיים על הארץ. We turn to page 31 and let's see here. All right, Frida, the Friedlach. Let's go. Please unmute.
Okay.
There you are. Can you see it?
Okay, did you enlarge it?
I did. Hold on, it's too large. Can't see the whole thing.
That's good if it's too large.
Yeah, but it's cutting it off.
Oh,
All right, go ahead.
okay.
Adonai said to Moses.
Adonai said to Moses, instruct the people Israel that in every generation they shall put tzitzis on the corners of their garments and then
Bind a thread.
and bind a thread of blue to the tzitzah. The fringe of each garment. Look upon these tzitzis, and you will be
Reminded.
reminded of all the mitzvah of Adonai and fulfill them, and not be seduced by your heart, nor led astray by your eyes. Then you will remember and observe all my mitzvah and be holy before your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God, who is truth.
Yashakohech.
Thank you.
Beautiful job.
Thank you. I try.
You try very well.
Thank you. I do try.
All right. I'm trying to get the pages back, so. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 32. Emet. ומלאכל זו בקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו באצילתו ואנחנו ישראל ומחבתנו מהמלאכים וכנגו עלינו מכף כל העריצים היה להם לפנינו. Middle of the page at the box. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל לכהנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדע בקודש נורא תהילתו ספלה מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים, לפני משה זלינו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פרע אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גא ישראל. We turn to page 33 and let's read this one together. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise to you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people, and over Jerusalem. Ushmod seitenu vo'enu l'chaim, u'shalom etaviat olam, ufros alenu sukat shlomecha, baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom, aleinu v'yakol amo Yisrael, v'ya Yerushalayim. Let's turn to page 34, and I ask you to please, if you are able to please rise for the Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית olam. Barbara, would you like to do the Hatzi Kaddish on the bottom of the page?
Okay. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divra kirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye kon v'yomei kon, uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala, ba'gala, uv'izman karib, v'yimaru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach, li'olam li'olmei almaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithada v'yitalel shmed kutsha richu Liela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiran v'yalma v'yimeru. Amen.
Yashakaheh. And with that beautiful intro of the Kaddish, we are ready for the Amidah. The silent Amidah can be found in pages 35b through 38. It is the regular Shabbat one now, but do make sure you add the Mashiv HaRuach Umarid HaGashem, as it is after Shmini Atzeret. When you are finished, you may be seated. Page 35b through 38. For those of you who are finished, you can please join me, page 38, for Shalom Ra'av at the top. Shalom Ra'av Yisrael Amcha Tasim Liolam. Shalom Ra'av Yisrael Amcha Tasim Liolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Liolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Liolam. V'tov b'heinecha levarech et amecha Yisrael b'chol eit u'v'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Liolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Liolam Tasim Liolam Tasim Liolam. We continue on page 47. Ask you if you are able to please rise for the Vayechulu and the beginning of the Avot and Imahot. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chod tzivam vayech Elohim bayom hashvihi melachto asher asa Vayishbot bayom hashvihi mikol melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvihi Vayekadesh oto ki vo shavat mikol melachto ki vo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim Asher bara Elohim lahasod. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah Ahel Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora Elyon konei Shemayim v'Haaretz. Please be seated. Magen avod bidvaro mechaye metim b'mamaro Hahel hakadosh she'en kamohu hameniach li amo biyom Shabbat kodsho kivam ratza lehaniach lahem kivam ratza lehaniach lahem Lefanav navon birav afachad v'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid mein habrachot el haodot Adon hashalom mekadesh hashabbat umvarech shevihi Umeniach bikdusha liamikdu shnei honeg zecher lemahase vereshit. Page 48. Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu Ritzeh v'mnuchatenu kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha sabeinu mituvecha v'samcheinu b'shuatecha kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha v'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha Sabeinu mituvecha v'samcheinu b'shuatecha v'taher libeinu v'taher libeinu v'taher libeinu li'avdecha be'emet V'taher libeinu v'taher libeinu v'taher libeinu li'avdecha be'emet V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahavav ratzon shebakodshecha v'yanuchu v'Yisrael b'kadshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Rachel, would you like to do the Kaddish Shalem?
Sure.
Don't be too excited.
Let's see.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yikadal v'yikadash shmei rabba b'yama divarach yirutei v'yamich malchutei b'chei chon v'mechon v'chei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'gal v'zman kari v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shma rabba mivorach le'olam u'me'el maya yibarach v'yibarach v'yishtabach v'yibar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kusha b'richu le'olam yichol berchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata damiran b'yama v'yimeru. Amen. Tikabel tzilahon u'lechon t'chol Yisrael kadam u'vahon v'shemaya v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'hayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen.
Amen v'amen, as Maish would say. Yashikahech. Oops, I went the wrong way here. Let's go this way. We turn to page 49, and I ask all of you who have your wine or your beverage of choice to please rise, if you are able, for the Kiddush, the Kiddush. Savri Miranan Baruch Atanana Eloheinu Melech Haolam Borei Peri Hagafen Baruch Atanana Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Kirishana B'mitzvotav V'ratzavanu V'Shabbat Kodsho B'Yahavav Ratzon Hinchilanu Zikaron L'Maaseh V'Reshit Ki Hu Yom Techila L'Mikrahei Kodesh Zecher L'Tziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchatanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
How's everybody doing this evening? You're all looking rather dapper for a Friday evening. Yes, you are. And for those of you who aren't on screen, I'm assuming you're looking dapper too, but I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Friends, the holy day season has come to an end, and fall is in the air. As I typically say on Shabbat mornings, as we daven the Nishmat prayer, it is time to take a deep breath. And that is well deserved, for we all came together again during the continuing saga of the COVID-19 pandemic to hopefully find great meaning and introspection through the Yomim Noraim and the Sukkot festival holidays. We ran our first hybrid Holy Day services, and it was really our first time together as a full congregation in about 2 years that wasn't all completely online. Yes, there were a few technical difficulties at the start of a couple of the services, but I guess it is fortunate that we have had very few people logged in at the time, so it didn't really matter that much. The Barrys didn't have to kick anyone out, so I guess the services weren't too bad. Our crack team prepared and decorated the sukkah. We shook the lulavim and etrogim, we dined in the sukkah, prayed for rain on Shmini Atzeret, and we certainly got it that day. Recited the Yizkor prayers, and we completed the reading of the Torah and started over again on Simchat Torah morning. All in all, we could and will review the minor hiccups, but I hope everyone found benefit and enjoyment of the services wheresoever you were dispersed. So now that another holy day season is behind us, where do we go from here? Do we celebrate National Frida Day? Do we name the camera after Heshi? Do we lease the naming rights of the Ashrei prayer to Maish? Do we name Rachel the CSI representative to the National Zoom production team? Do we appoint Jeff the Shul Talmudic scholar every other Wednesday between 5 and 7 p.m.? Drive-through hours in Chestnut Hill, of course. Do we patent the term Einon Achzik? Or do we have Bring Your Cats Night? The possibilities are endless. But perhaps we should not get all worked up over these ambitious objectives right away and focus on some easier, perhaps less invasive accomplishments. How about we spend some more time asking each other how we are doing? What can we do to help? Work to reduce our anger, improve our patience, be less envious, study other points of view more carefully, and use more common sense. Most of us, if not all, however, fall into these bad habits every now and then. Part of improving on these areas is about taking a step back. Listen more carefully and thoughtfully to others. Shema Kolenu, as we heard from Yom Kippur, hear our voices in our heads. I know some of you will think I'm crazy, but talking to yourself is a healthy practice because it lets you get rid of some of that frustration before you lash out at others. Take a walk, a bike ride, or take a drive. Just don't miss the exit while you are having that conversation with yourself. I once drove 25 miles past my stop somewhere in Ohio once because of that. It can be counterproductive unless you have an extra 50 miles worth of discussion remaining. But if you happen to feel that you are going to execute Lashon Hara, the evil tongue, or express your anger, please do it where only you can hear it before it gets out of hand and creates a problem you can't or don't want to be faced with. And I mean this as well on social media. It is natural to get frustrated and upset. You need to have some space to decompress and let it out before it gets bottled up inside of you. Keeping that inside isn't good for your emotional, physical health. But you do have control of what you say, the way you say it, and perhaps when you say it. Sometimes you need to have a hard, frank discussion with others, but it doesn't need to be done instantly. When something bad happens, taking immediate action to counter it is not necessarily the best course of action. Mistakes often get made, and bigger problems occur when you react to something too quickly. This is the week where we read the Parashah Bereshit, the first parashah in the Torah, and the very beginning and creation of the world by God. Unfortunately, today, a lot of things occur on our planet that will likely ultimately threaten our existence. But we as Jewish people have our mitzvot, such as how we should treat our neighbor, our parents, each other. And we aren't just expected to reread the parashot every year. We should feel obliged to take what is good and live our lives honoring these tenets. We at Congregation Sons of Israel are just beginning a new chapter. And let's all look forward to a renewed beginning by writing and living the new pages of our book of compassion, our book of goodness, and our book of life. I wish you all a wonderful, healthy, peaceful year ahead, a lot of good conversations, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. All right, we will continue, unless anybody has anything they'd like to say. Then we will continue with the Ashrei, page 51. The Ashrei. Jeez, I'm thinking Maish there again. The Aleinu, page 51. Please rise. You'll do the Ashrei tomorrow. Don't worry. There'll be plenty of time. Aleinu, page 51. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latei kedula liyotzeh breshit shelo asani kagoye haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpechot adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gahor aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser haaretz u'moshev yekara b'shamayim mimahal u'shchinatu zo begavhe meromim hu Eloheinu enod Emet malkeinu efesulato kakatuv betorato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mimahal v'al haaretz mitachat enod Elokeinu melech Adonai Eloheinu l'rabbatem mehera תקן עליו ולכל שדיים וכל בני בשר יקרו וישמע כלבפו ולך לכל שהארץ ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד. In love, we remember those who no longer walk the earth. We are grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for the joys we shared, and for the cherished memories that never fade. May God grant those who mourn the strength to see beyond their sorrow, sustaining them despite their grief. May the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we invite those who mourn and those observing your sight to praise God's name with the words of the Kaddish. Mourners Kaddish, page 53. Mourners and those observing your sight, please rise. If you wish to unmute, please do so. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Amen. Bi'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'izman kariv v'miru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach li'olam l'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'pa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol bechata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Damiran b'yalma v'mibru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'mibru. Amen. Aseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yeshvei tevel v'mibru. Amen. Please be seated. This time it is my pleasure to call upon the President of Congregation Sons of Israel, Rosalind Abrams, to make some announcements, the birthdays, anniversaries, and whatever else she'd like to say.
Thank you, Seth. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Just have a few birthdays and anniversaries for October. We have Jody Barden, Leona Confer Tuttle, Elliot Hershoff, Rabbi Bernard Horowitz, David Falmer, Mark Tolpin, Jody Weber, Honey Schmays, Susan Comack, David Schreiber, Leslie Garber, Charlotte Gross, Paula Kravitz, Anita Solov, Marcy Sweet, Paul Wax, Sandra Ring, and Martin LaBelle. Are there any other October birthdays that I may have forgotten? You can, if you want to unmute and,
I'd like to add my niece, Mia Samantha Cohen.
okay. Anyone
Thank you.
else?
Thank you.
Okay. And we just have a few anniversaries for October. We have Mr. and Mrs. Martin LaBelle, Mr. and Mrs. Barry Wolfson, Mr. and Mrs. Barry Abrams, and Mr. and Mrs. Steve Gottsagen. Are there any other anniversaries for October that we may have forgotten? No. Okay, so let's do a Shechayanu for everybody. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechayanu v'kiyimanu v'higyanu b'zman hazeh. Amen.
31 years. 31 years. Woo!
Love.
Woo!
Okay, so Seth, did you want to have
Mazel tov,
do any
here's to another
announcements?
31.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said Mazel tov, here's to
Oh,
another
thank you,
31.
thank you. It will be. There's an event actually, so Lapin event this Tuesday night, and our show is a co-sponsor. It's Discover Your Rainbow with Ariella Halevi. As Rosh Chodesh begins, I believe it's Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday. So it's a Wednesday at 7:30 on Zoom. It's a special Rosh Chodesh celebration. So it was in the newsletter. You can go to the Lapin Foundation website and register for the Zoom link. And it's probably gonna go 7:30 to 8:30. Their events usually go about an hour. So tomorrow morning we have services on Zoom only. The link it's the same link as we're using tonight. So that's that. Seth, do you have any other announcements?
I don't think so. Next week is actually a quiet week, except for I think we have a wrap-up meeting and a couple other things.
We do
But
on Thursday. Yep.
but yeah, next week we're kind of back on normal schedule. So
Yep.
we'll,
Somebody was asking, we're going to be doing our Sunday services twice a month. So the first one would be October 10th. Zoom only. Did we decide on that versus hybrid like on a Saturday?
are we doing something on Sunday morning? I don't remember.
No, like not this Sunday morning, but next. So we're doing.
No. I meant is that Sunday. Did we have some other meeting or something scheduled? I don't remember.
No, we decided to do the high holiday wrap up during the week.
I'm willing to open the show if people want to come in. I mean, it'd always be hybrid, but we don't have to do it Zoom only if people would like to come into the show. So, I mean,
fine.
I'm not going to, well, let me put it this way. We'll have to talk about, because I'm not going to be there necessarily, I'll be there one of the Sundays, definitely. The other Sunday, I'm not sure. So we'll talk about how we want to do that.
Okay.
But when I'm at the show, we'll announce it in advance, obviously.
Okay.
If you'd like to come to the show, you are more than welcome to do so.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so. All right. Any announcements from the gallery? Literally, the gallery.
The gallery there.
Anyone? All right.
All right.
We will conclude with.
Seth, I do have a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
When you do
please.
the mourner's prayer,
Yes.
at the very end, you add 2 words that aren't in the book. And I'm curious as to what is that? What is the purpose of it and what does it mean?
So when we say Kol Yoshvei Tevel, so basically it means all who dwell. So basically we're not just not just the people of Israel, the people Jewish, but really all people who dwell across the earth and everything. So it's some Reformed synagogues tend to use it more. Others, it's been more common and a lot of times actually you'll say. In the Amidah, instead of you'll say Hakol instead of like Melech or other things. You'll say everyone or everything, not just relegated to one group or even with God. We add the Hakol. So I'll call Yoshvei Tevel. It's all who dwell within. So that's really what that means and why I add it. You're not obligated to add it though.
No, I just had I had no idea as to what it meant because I didn't see it in the book. Okay,
I'm not gonna paste a page in every book for it. But if you'd like to learn it or use it, please feel free.
Thank you.
All right. We will conclude with the Yigdal, page 53, and then after that, please pay heed to Frida for the Hamotzi.
Okay.
Hold on, not yet, Frida. יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא ואין היטל מציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הגוף בהינו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר יורה גדולתו ומלכותו שפע נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו תורת אמת נתן לי המוהל על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו סופר ויודע סתרנו מביט לסוף דבר בקדמתו גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו נותן לרשע רע כרשעתו ישלח לקץ הימין משיחנו לפדות מחכה קץ ישועתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. Frida, take it away.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we can.
Okay, before I begin, it's my grandson Matthew's birthday in October, and my son Larry and Pat's anniversary in October. Okay.
Thank you, Frida.
Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz amen. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth and es gesundheit. Eat in good health, everyone.
Amen.
Amen.
And the patents will be approved shortly.
And have a wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you, Frida.
You're welcome.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
wonderful
Beautiful
service.
service.
Shabbat shalom.
Very nice.
I won't be on tomorrow, so have fun on your service tomorrow.
Have a nice weekend, Seth.
Yeah, have a nice weekend.
I'll be at a bar mitzvah tomorrow morning.
Wonderful seeing everybody tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I'm signing off.
All right,
Good night,
Shabbat shalom.
everybody.
See everyone mañana.
Shabbat shalom.
Nice service.
Shabbat
Thank
shalom.
you.
Hi, James. Hi, James.
How are you, Diane?
Uh-huh.
Barbara, I'll see you at the meeting.
Hey,
I
Seth,
will
when
see
was
you
that
at-
Bring Your Cats Day to service?
Yeah, I think we should have a pet service,
Services most of the
a
time.
Zoom pet service.
You know, I was once at a baseball game in Cincinnati many years ago, and they had bring your dogs to the thing. There were more dogs than people in the stands that day.
Yeah.
Your dog can come on too.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't.
Sometimes she does, but she can't get up this high to my desk, so.
Aw.
My cat loves services. I think it's the singing.
I think so too. They
Because he
kind of like
comes in and he's got a, I know
I think
Isaac's sitting right there next to you, Barbara.
Yep.
Some companies let you bring your dog to work the way they
Yeah.
bring your dog to work.
Yep.
I've had clients like
shalom.
that, yeah.
Shabbat shalom.
Right, shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Hey, Phyllis, I'll
Shabbat
see you.
shalom. All be well.
We'll
Yes, I'll
see
see
you tomorrow.
you well and safe.
Bye.
See you tomorrow, Phyllis. Yes, you going to the meeting? Yes.
I'll see you tomorrow, Rita, too.
Oh, then you too, Barbara. It should be very interesting,
Oh, yes.
to say the least.
Yeah, it will
Yeah,
be.
very good. Be well, everyone.
Yes.
Good
Okay,
Shabbos.
Thank
Good
you.
Shabbos,
Good Shabbos.
so everybody's leaving.
Good
That's what they
Shabbos.
do at the end of a service.
You're right.
Yes.
Wonderful
Good
service.
Shabbos.
Thank you.
Okay, now I can go talk to my daughter in California,
Have
where
fun.
it's 80 degrees.
So I can say leave the meeting, right?
Yes. You know how to do that now?
Yes, in the right hand.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay. So
All right.
have a good weekend, Seth.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Enjoy services tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.
Right.
Heshi, have a good evening. Are you you're on mute though. You're still on mute. All right. We'll talk to you later. Be good, everyone.
Okay, so I'm going to leave.
All right.